Oh, goodness me. So I'm now live on YouTube for the first time in ever, first time in forever. And I thought I would do this stream as a test to get used to it again, and also demonstrate what I do to help myself deal with Sjögren syndrome, which is a disease of the glands, the lacrimal glands over here, and the parotid glands, which is like your salivary glands. The sinus glands are unfortunately destroyed, so I don't produce any mucus in my sinuses. So what Sjögren syndrome is it's an autoimmune disease which attacks all the excretory glands in the body, which means that you get very dry eyes, and when you wake up in the morning your eyelids are literally stuck to your eyeballs, and when you open them there's an adhesive wear, if you like, that dries out the cornea, and it causes wear of the cornea and gradual eyesight destruction. So that sounds pretty bad, and it sounds like the worst thing in the world if you are an underwater dancer who likes doing eyes open underwater ballet. So like I say, it doesn't matter if people don't join me live. I'm just literally doing this as a test to see what the quality is like from my busted up iPhone, which has a spider screen on my side, so that's why I've pointed it at the mirror. Probably I'm just going to see if I can zoom in because I want to try and get this. Oh, I can. Excellent. Right. Okay, so let's see if I can. I'm just going to try and zoom in onto my actual eyes so that you see me doing the treatment. Right. So I just explained at the beginning of the video that Sjögren syndrome is a dry eye disease. It's actually more than just dry eye, it's all the excretory glands which are gradually being destroyed by the immune system. That includes hormone glands, like even insulin production from the pancreas, so you can get pancreatitis, you can get very sick. I've had all these symptoms and never knew what was causing it. I never knew that it was Sjögren's, because I've done all these hacks to help protect my eyes. Which is why I'm able to do eyes open underwater, which is actually like the worst thing you can do with Sjögren syndrome, because if you have dry eyes, opening them underwater is only going to make them worse, because it's going to inflame the tear ducts, the tear glands, and actually enable the immune system to attack things even more. So this is a hack, one of the hacks that I do to encourage my lacrimal glands to tear up more. So this device is an ultrasound spatula, and it's a very easily available beauty device that they use for smoothing skin and cleansing skin by delivering an ultrasound. It's like a blade, and it does an ultrasound wave on this wave front here, which is very focused, and that literally heats up the blackheads, and they literally like explode out of the skin. It's kind of fun to watch, which is why I tried to zoom in so that you could see it, but I don't think I'll be able to get close enough unless I was to literally use some kind of like snake camera and strap it to the spatula. So I'm just going to clean this off with some alcohol first, because this thing actually gets really grubby with the way it literally blasts dead fat cells and dead protein cells off of the skin. So that's about as clean as I can get it, but it does get pretty grubby after one use. And next I'm just going to use hyaluronic gel around my eyes to get a good ultrasound contact. And because hyaluronic gel is hydrophilic, in other words, it attracts moisture, this will enable the ultrasound waves to penetrate through and plump up the area around the glands, so that the immune system that's stuck in the glands, that's attacking the glands, can leave. Because the problem is the autoimmune system has invaded into the glands where it's not supposed to be, and it's just busy attacking. And it's destroying the glands, and it's swelling them up. You can see these dark bags here. This is from the autoimmune system attacking the glands. So what I do, there's 3 different settings on this device: cleansing, moisturizing, and lifting. All that really means is cleansing is like a higher frequency ultrasound, and lifting is the lower frequency ultrasound. And the lower frequency penetrates further than the high frequency. So it penetrates further into the skin. It penetrates a few millimeters in. The cleansing one stays on the surface about 2 millimeters. So I usually go for the lifting one. So, so this is the cleansing, there's the lifting one. So, and the manufacturers are not going to recommend you do this because it's not what it's designed for, but I've actually found this is really helpful for me because the ultrasound waves penetrate with good contact from the gel, and you can literally feel the eyelid warming up from inside. So the skin isn't warming up, it's inside the eyelid that's warming up, like 3-4 millimeters in. And you can feel the ultrasound like almost tickling the glands from inside, and that's enabling the microcirculation in the glands. So it's helping the glands flush themselves out, because when inflammation gets into these lacrimal glands, they clog up, they swell up, and then they can't produce teardrops. And this gets rid of the swelling, the inflammation, and then you're able to produce tears. And I found this works for me. Nobody's recommended this to me. In actual fact, the optometrist said to me, just use a hot compress. Getting heat is like really important because it opens up the capillaries and allows the inflammation to go away by compressing it out, and then you can produce tears again. Okay, so I'll just compare this, and you'll see from one eye to the other where this is literally what do you call it? It's this eye bag, if you like, is going down because the ultrasound waves are mechanically stimulating fluid movement out of the gland. So all the junk, all the bad stuff, all the sticky inflammation is being quickened, if you like. And it's allowing blood flow to get back in, and it's allowing the gland to restore itself, heal itself. Because it can't heal while it's inflamed. While it's inflamed, it's just in its own, stuck in its own battle. And I do this every day. Right there, I can actually feel it. It feels like, it gets so hot, it feels like little needles inside the gland. And that's not going to inflame it, it's actually going to stimulate it. Stimulate it to heal. It will stimulate new stem cell activity. But most importantly, it will force those sticky inflammation, fluids and killer cells to leave. Leave my lacrimal glands alone, please. So I can feel right there where the contact is really good. The ultrasound penetrates right in and it's warming up the gland from inside. It's probably giving me this lifting anti-aging effect on the skin around the eyes as well, which is what this thing was designed for, but I actually used it intuitively when I found that the ultrasound waves was a great way to get heat into the gland without having to stop what you're doing and get hot compresses and whatever. So I'm a big fan of these gadgets, and I have more to show you, more little hacks that I do. This is just one of them, and this is the main one that I can't go without. I have 2 other secret hacks that I do daily to stay on top of this destructive disease. It's actually, when I realized what it was, when I went to the optometrist and he checked me out and he said, okay, all of your symptoms are pointing towards this thing. I immediately acted on it and I was like, oh, okay, what can I do holistically, integrally? Like, what can I do? Everything that I can do to stop this disease from progressing, and if anything, try and reverse some of the damage that it's done. And so I found a way to make herbal eye drops that I make with my coffee maker. I use those every day and it's helped a lot. It's taken away a lot of the burning sensation that you feel continuously. Because the thing is with Sjögren syndrome is that you go around during the day feeling like you've had your eyes open underwater, and there's that burning sensation that comes with your eyes being open underwater. That's your eyes being irritated and inflammation kicking in. So now, I'll just step back a little bit. You can probably see a bit of an improvement already. Before I started this, there were distinct eye bags and puffiness and inflammation, and this has managed to literally push it out. It's managed to mechanically stimulate it, and I can feel the skin kind of vibrating, but most importantly, on the lower setting, this setting on the lowest frequency, it's penetrating deeper and it's allowing those glands to warm up and flush out the inflammation, flush out all that puffiness. And the heat that the cavitation of the ultrasound stimulates is when you've got this sound wave that's penetrating deep into the gland, not just on the skin through a hot compress. It's getting it really hot. It feels like needles inside. And that stimulates the blastic cells, the stem cells, to produce new tissue, to rejuvenate, to heal. And it's that heat that stimulates it. So this device, although I'm not being sponsored or paid by anyone to do this, I just thought I'd put it out there because a lot of people don't understand how I'm able to keep my eyes open underwater when it's painful for normal people. And since I have an eye disease that's painful all the time, I'm kind of used to it. But this is one way where I heal rapidly from it and recover from it. And yeah, so this device, when it first came out a few years ago, they were about $40 each, and now they're so prevalent and they're so useful. You can get them for less than $10. I would spend the money on them. I would actually have a second one as a backup because the battery doesn't actually last long on this. I like to spend the treatment time on this. It cycles and lasts maybe up to 10 minutes, I think. That's the battery life on this device. It won't allow you to do any more. And I've found this tool so valuable that I just want to have two on charge and use one back to back with another while I'm doing these treatments. So specifically on my tear ducts and my tear glands, this has really helped. And I no longer suffer that burning sensation on my cornea and in my eyes because the dryness that's adhering my eyelids to my eyeballs, and it really is that bad. It feels, you know, it's no longer bothering me. It does if I forget the routine, and then I realize, yep, I still got this disease. But and then after I've been in the pool, I do this as well to calm my eyes down. My eyes have got a little bit dry, so I'm just going to put more gel on. This is just, it's just a hyaluronic acid gel. So it's very conductive for the ultrasound. I think you can use any moisturizer, but if you've got any moisturizer with fats in it, then what tends to happen is that the ultrasound starts to literally shave off the dead protein cells off your skin, and you end up doing this motion with like a little tidal wave of dirt. And I'm trying not to do that. I'm just trying to just get into my glands and stimulate them. So there we go. The hyaluronic acid doesn't last long. It's a real temporary thing. I'll put it on the lift setting again. All that is a lower frequency, so it penetrates further. In actual fact, I don't know if the phone picks it up, but there's a really strange noise that comes out. Like the ultrasound noise sounds like a squeak, like my skin is squeaking. I mean, the thing is ticking away anyway with the pulses. That's the pulses that are ticking. It's a little piezoelectric pulsing, but it is actually a high frequency that's in bursts, you know? So what it does is it pulses the moisture so fast that it vaporizes. And if this is happening under the skin, it can't vaporize, so it just heats up. It just rapidly heats up, which is why it feels like a bunch of needles under the skin. Like I'm tattooing my knee. And it's not going into the eyeball, it's just going in a few millimeters, so it's not touching my eyeball. The ultrasound, you can feel the heat inside my eyelid, but it doesn't touch the eyeball because that's a boundary. And it's releasing the energy before it gets to that boundary. Yeah, so I was really surprised. This device now, when I look at the prices, they're like, on Temu, they're like less than $10. And you can get ones with slightly different shapes. You can get ones with the straight blade as opposed to the curved blade. I like the curved blade, obviously it fits around the eye better. But also another thing about the curved blade is that you have this arc and it's focusing inwards. So you get a high intensity patch where it can really focus some of those ultrasound waves. So there we go. This is going to run out of battery any second. But that's enough for me today. I'm using the side rather than the front edge of the blade as well, because on these radius corners it's also emitting the ultrasound. So it's another way of getting it into the gland, the ultrasound penetration. So there we go. I'm going to do 3 more videos on my hacks that I do to treat this disease, what I do to self-help. The second one's going to be on the eye drops that I make for myself, using some Chinese herbs and things. And a third video is going to be on the essential oils that also help to get rid of the inflammation. And an interesting point to note about this syndrome is that a lot of people don't realize they have it. They only get diagnosed after they've seen the optometrist or ear, nose and throat, because it starts off as a generalized altered immune state that's attacking your excretory glands. It could be attacking them anywhere. It could be attacking your pancreas. It could be attacking your ovaries. But usually where it shows up first, where we really start to pay attention, is with pre-diabetic symptoms and with a dry mouth. So you wake up in the morning with your cheeks stuck to your teeth, and that's a pretty gross feeling, because you're like, God, I've woken up with dog breath. One of the symptoms I've got is the mucosal glands in my sinuses are completely destroyed. They don't produce moisture, so I have to get a cotton swab and rub ointment up my nose every day. Otherwise, my sinuses crack and become infected. And this becomes a situation over winter where you've got air conditioning and dehumidification going on. And so it gets worse over winter. I get like a chronic sinus infection from dryness, because it goes all crusty and gets infected. You know, the skin in my sinuses starts to crack and just do nasty things, like imagine the cracked skin on the heel of your feet up your sinuses. It's pretty gnarly. So I had that for years, and that was diagnosed with an ear, nose, throat surgeon who didn't think to sort of cross-examine the rest of my medical history and realize that it was related to the eye glands and the mucosal glands, you know, even vaginal dryness. So there we go. And I think you can probably see a difference already from the beginning of the video. I should have done a face close-up at the beginning of the video. Is that a comment? Is that a comment? Hi, Jared. So this battery is going to wear out pretty soon. It's been going for a while, actually. This is a 23-minute, so this has been going for 20 minutes. Wow. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to put this on charge again and give myself a nice bedtime treat before I go to sleep. So this device really helps for Sjögren syndrome, because it really just gets the ultrasound activating inside the lacrimal glands and just moving all that stagnation out, where the immune system is just sitting there just destroying stuff. And it enables also, where I was doing it over the surface of my eye, it enables the healing on the cornea to begin as well. So I've actually noticed in the last 3 weeks that my eyesight has actually cleared up a bit. I was feeling like things were becoming a bit dim, but I think my cornea has smoothed off a bit, because, you know, it must have done some reparations for the damage. So anyway, that's how I managed to do eyes open underwater. Oh, there we go, it turned itself off. Ran out of charge. Yeah, that's how I manage to do eyes open underwater with no pain, because I've got this device. Alright. Oh, thanks, Jared. I don't really think of myself like that, but anyway, that's nice. Appreciated. Thank you. I'm going now. Until the next video. Bye. How do I stop this?